Bahasan Research, Bachelor Thesis Proposal di Auto Niputulayan Hartika. The title, Improving Speaking Skill of the 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar in the academic year 2026-2027 through ESA. Starting from Chapter 1, Background of the Study, speaking is a vital part of the English language learning process. According to Nunan 23, speaking is a productive oral skill that consists of producing systematic verbal speech to convey meaning. Although speaking is very important, many students have difficulties such as limited language mastery and insufficient practice. Thornbury 25 explained that speaking is a common part of daily life. Based on initial observation and primarily data at SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar, the speaking skill of the 7th grade student, particularly in class 7D, do not show optimal result yet. To address this problem, the researchers implement the ESA strategy. This classroom research is conducted to improve the quality of the speaking learning process through more structured approach. Therefore, the implementation of ESA serves a practical solution to overcome the technical speaking challenges found in the classroom. The researcher is highly interested in conducting the research entitled Improving the Speaking Skill of 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar to ESA. Considering this factor, the research problem is formulated as follows. Can the speaking skill of the 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar in the academic year 2026-2027 be improved through ESA? Objective of the study. The study is conducted to find solution to this problem. The purpose of this research is to find out if the speaking skill of 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar in the academic year 2026-2027 can be improved through ESA. The next is limitation of the study. The study focused on improving the speaking skill of 7th grade student at SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar in the academic year 2026-2027 to the Engage Study Activate ESA strategy. The study follows the school curriculum and the 7th grade English learning objective, with speaking activities focused on descriptive monologues about a person, such as family member, friend, or a famous person or idol. The ESA strategy provides structured stage engage to attract student attention, study to learn the required language feature, and activate to perform monologues independently, ensuring student receives sufficient language input before practicing in a real communication context. Significance of the study. Theoretically, the results of this study are expected to provide useful evidence regarding the application of the ESA strategy in improving student speaking skill. Practically, the results of the study are expected to provide benefit for teacher, student, and other researchers by offering a structured approach to enhance speaking proficiency in the classroom. The next is definition of key terms. Speaking skill, the ability of 7th grade student at the SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar to express ideas orally in English through short descriptive monologues. Assessed by grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. The next is ESA, Engage Study Activate Strategy, a teaching strategy with 3 stages: engage to motivate, study to learn language feature, and activate to practice speaking actively. The next is Chapter 2, Theoretical and Empirical Review. Starting from speaking skill. Speaking is an essential language skill that enables students to communicate actively according to Nunan 23. It involves producing systematic verbal speech to convey meaning, not just making sound. Thornbury 25 emphasized that speaking is often spontaneous and used to share ideas in everyday life. Brown 21 highlight that speaking is interactive, requiring students to produce, receive, and process language depending on context. Harmer 27 notes that classroom speaking focuses on the activate stage, where students use language feature in a real communication. Savitriani and Jayadi 2021 explain that speaking skill combine knowledge and practice involving key components: grammar, vocabulary comprehension, fluency, and pronunciation, which are essential for delivering accurate message, especially in descriptive monologues. The next is ESA. A teaching strategy is a systematic method to help students learn effectively. In the study, ESA, Engage Study Activate, is applied to improve the speaking skill of 7th grade students at SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar. According to Hammer 27, Engage attracts student attention and motivates them to participate. Study focuses on learning language features such as vocabulary and grammar, and Activate encourages students to use English actively. For example, by performing short descriptive monologues, this strategy provides a structured and flexible approach, ensuring students gain enough language input before practicing independently. Alright, move to descriptive paragraph. Descriptive paragraph is a form of writing that displays an object, person, or situation in detail. According to Wulandari 2022, it provides a factual representation, while Putrayasa 2015 emphasized creating a sensory experience for the reader. This type of paragraph uses precise language and observation to give a clear and vivid picture of the subject. Assessing speaking skill. Assessment is important to measure student progress in learning. According to Nunan 23, it involves collecting information about student performance. In this study, speaking assessment will focus on short monologues using a rubric adapted from Brown 2019, which evaluates grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. This ensures that students' speaking skills are measured in a clear, structured, and objective way. Empirical review. Several studies show that DSA strategy effectively improves student speaking skill. Research by Yogiswara, Joni, and Mantra 2025, and Febrianti, Darcy, and Fadli 2023 found that ESA increases student fluency, accuracy, and confidence by providing a structured and engaging learning environment. These findings support using ESA for the current study at SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar. Chapter 3, Research Method. Subject of the study. This research will conducted at SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar with the subject being student of class 70 in the academic year 2026-2027. The class consisted of 30 students, including 13 male and 17 female. Research design. CAR is considered appropriate because this research aims to improve the speaking skill of the 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar through DSA strategy. This design allows the researchers to implement the teaching strategy, observe and evaluate student progress, and make necessary improvement in the cycle until the research objectives are achieved. Research procedure. Initial reflection. The first stage in classroom action research to identify problem before learning begins. At this stage, the researchers will interview the English teacher of SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar to find out the difficulties faced by the 7th grade student of class 70. Planning. Developing a learning module. Selecting material, preparing activities based on ESA, developing a post-test, and preparing a questionnaire. Action. Activities are carried out to solve the identified speaking problem using the ESA strategy. Observation conducted to see whether the ESA strategy improved the speaking skill of 7th grade students. The researchers observed the teaching and learning process during the engaged study and activate phase. Reflection, a post-intervention evaluation of student speaking achievement after implementing DSA strategy. Research instrument. The first one is test. In this study, 2 tests will be used, a pre-test and a post-test. The next is questionnaire. The questionnaire will be administered to the student to determine responses toward the implementation of ESA in speaking skill. Data collection. Through this instrument, 3 types of data are obtained, namely, the first one, the student initial speaking skill, second, the development of student speaking skill, the last is the student responses to the implementation of the learning strategy. The next is data analysis. The researcher used the mean square formula when the data from the pre-test and post-test of the whole subject are computed. The data obtained from the tasks which are given by the researcher are calculated through the following formula. This one. The result of the questionnaire under study are taken to determine the percentage of the subject responses to the applied strategy. As the additional data, the questionnaire results support the present study. Furthermore, the data of the subject result from the questionnaire are analyzed by using the following formula, like this. Alright, success indicator. The success indicator in the study is when the subject under study already fulfilled the minimum passing grade of mastering English, especially speaking skill. Based on the study program policy, the research is successful if 80% of the subject under study achieve the minimum passing grade. In other words, the current researchers can be added if the required percentage of the student out of 30 subjects in class 70 achieve the minimum passing grade for the English course in SMP Negeri 3 Gianyar. To sum up, the present classroom action research is considered successful when the criteria of success are already met by the subject through the implementation of the ESA strategy. Alright, that's all about my presentation. I'm sorry if there are any mistakes. Thank you for the kind of attention.